Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. Today I've got a new addition to the workshop. I've got an oil can. Okay, big whoop, right? An oil can. Well, it's a special kind of oil can. It's one made for sewing machines. $4.50 worth. Cute little bugger. Came inside of a little plastic bag to keep it sanitary and fresh, I guess. I don't know. Got it at the Kalamazoo Sewing Supply Company down on Portage Street here in Kalamazoo. I looked at a bunch of them and seems kind of odd, but this oil is like $4 an ounce. When I went to Amazon and tried to buy some, well, to look it up, it was $8 for a 2-ounce bottle, $4 an ounce, and the bottle was just a bottle. This one is about 2 ounces. It cost me $4.50, but it has this cute little zoomy spout so that I can reach up inside the sewing machine and put the oil where I want it. So what I'm going to be doing is putting oil on my sewing machine because I'd never oiled it, and I imagine it's not been used for a good, well, we'll be conservative and say 20 years. Probably more like, well, 30 or 40. So, let's get started. I love the little box that this comes in. It's some kind of cloth, like oilcloth, over a wood frame. Has these nifty little latches. There it is. All cleaned up and shiny. Now, except for the switch. Cord down there on the floor, along with the switch, get it out of our way. Take the thread off because we won't need that for this operation. I'm also going to pull out the bobbin. No point making an errant drip land on it and cause a problem later. There's all different kind of videos out there about how to take the bobbin out and how to put the bobbin in and how to wind the bobbin and all the other things, so I'm not going to bother showing that. But I haven't found one that showed anybody putting oil in them. There's lots of places on this thing that need oil. I'm thinking what I want to do first is open up the cabinet. Oops. Move that little stop over. Open up the cabinet. And we'll oil the bottom side first. Well, that's got it. Now with it tilted up, I can reach in and do the oil on the bottom. There are lots of little holes in underneath this sewing machine, and lots of places for oil to drip. So one of the things that I read was I should put something in the bottom to absorb any oil that drips off the sewing machine. And this tea towel, which my wife was kind enough to donate, seems to fit just perfectly. From what people have said on the forums, any spot that you see an oil hole, you're supposed to oil it. There's a drop. There's a drop. There's a drop. Oh look, if I turn that, it's easier to get the oil in the hole. Lesson learned on the first couple of spots. Rotate the mechanism. Now, some of these things, I think I'm going to have to set the sewing machine completely over on its side in order to reach in there and do a good job on it. Because I do want to put oil on everything that it needs. And it hasn't been oiled for a long, long time because all this stuff is just dry to the bone. Little tiny pivots in there. Lots of little places for oil to go. Some with oil holes and some without. There might be some places that I put oil that I really shouldn't. But I think as long as I keep it away from the bobbin track, it should be all right. I don't want to have a gusher of oil flowing around in here. I do want to have everything oiled. Got to have those long chain molecules in there, providing a way to keep the two surfaces from actually touching. Well, that's everything that shows in the bottom that I can see. So we'll bring it up. Let it sit like that. Now, there's oil holes in the top. This little pivot point here was packed full of lint. And I took a small dental pick and went in there and cleaned the oil out of that hole. I was amazed at how much there was in it. Now, according to my sources, anything on the top that is a hole is a place to be oiled. And some things, I'm going to just oil them on general principles because I know they move. Like this little pin up here. When you drop the foot, it slides up and down in there. There, we got that up in the air where we can see it. Slide that plate off. Clear up in the top. We'll drop there. And I've got a spot there that I bet needs oil. There's a little oil spout. It looks like a little oil cup there. And this little spot right here goes directly down onto the bearing that the main shaft is running in. Now, according to the book, I'm supposed to oil the sewing machine after every 8 hours of sewing, which is a considerable amount of sewing actually. Oh, there's another spot right there. One of the things you get from going to other people's websites is, and I do have to look up this gentleman's name because I need to mention him, and when I raise up the pressure foot, this little arm right here, point to it with the oiler, this little arm right here pivots forward and pushes on a tiny pin in the back and releases the pressure. See how much tension there is on that? It pushes on that pin and releases the pressure on those friction plates. That lets the thread slide through the friction wheels and allows you to remove the item and pull on the thread without breaking it. These guys really knew what they were doing. It's like watching an old-fashioned steam engine running. All those cams and gears going back and forth in there. Amazing stuff. That little plate coming out the bottom down there. I think that's pretty much everything on this end. I'll put a couple of drops on this slide right there. Really don't know what viscosity this oil is. It'd be kind of interesting to find out. I might be able to do some research and come up with it. But it's really thin. Reassemble the end. And that's back on. Now, I don't see any oil ports on the motor. I would expect to, but I don't. Raise this up. I can see oil around inside there already. Okay. For the sake of not having things get screwed up, leave that alone. Nope, I cannot see any oil ports on the motor whatsoever. But I do see something that needs to have some work done to it. One of the things about maintaining your piece of equipment is you can see problems. See that little bushing right there? That's supposed to be captured inside that motor junction box. That's supposed to be slipped up inside there. I bet somebody, because that is the cord to the foot pedal, and the foot pedal doesn't match what it shows in the drawing. So I bet somebody changed out the foot pedal at some time or another, because the cord doesn't match either. See how that cord plugs in? And they don't exactly match. I mean, they're close. They don't match exactly. This is probably off a later sewing machine. So I'm going to close this back up, and then I'm going to take the junction box off that motor and put that little rubber boot back where it belongs so that wire isn't under tension on the connections in there. I don't want them to pull loose.